Take two.
And that's how you start over without starting over.
Yeah. So, slightly smaller batter bowl.
Pancakes for two.
Scrambling a couple eggs.
Pancakes for two. Yeah, these I make two different sizes. One's a little bit larger, this size, a little bit bigger. And then one's a smaller one that's maybe about this size with a pulled spout, and that one's good for omelets. Or like making a little bit of salad dressing or whipped cream or something. Okay, so I thinned that back out, I rolled it over, and now at this point I want to attach this to the side of the wall. So I'm going to push out a little bit from the inside while I'm pushing in on this bottom lip. And hopefully, I think I just screwed it up again.
Be a really small batter bowl.
Okay, there we go.
That's cool.
So you really want to make sure that that's sealed. So now there's a little bit of an edge that's kind of flapped over. And I'm just going to smooth that out with my rib. And this traps the air now. So now this is hollow, and there's air trapped in there, which makes it very strong actually, because there's air trapped in there. So it's not going to distort very much.
Will you not put a hole in? So
I will. Yeah.
Okay, good.
When I pull the. Yeah.
Well, it gives us scramble everything I thought I knew.
Perfect speed.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right. I'm going to try to get some of the clay out and get this back up to a little bit bigger of a shape here. Going so well. Okay, got my basic bowl shape, and now I want to add the pouring spout. So first thing I do is I have to poke a hole so that the air can release. So I'm going to poke it opposite of where I'm going to pull the spout. So I, just with my needle tool, put a hole in there. And
Is there a scientific reason for that?
Yep. Directly opposite. That way the air goes out evenly.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
In my mind, this is what happens. So first thing I'm going to do is I pinch.
Makes my scientific mind.
Yeah, I pinch.
That's logical.
I pinch directly opposite. That way I'm not trapping any air. And then I'm gonna, squeeze this together and move the air out, making sure I'm not trapping any air in there. Okay. So then with my fingers, first thing I want to kind of even that out where that transition is from the thin wall to where it doubles up, because now it's double the thickness. So I do this with like a circular kind of motion, just evening the clay wall out and back and forth. And then I'm going to pull up a little bit, just like pulling a spout for a pitcher. You know, to thin this out and give it a little height. So just like pulling a handle. Lots of water and little shallow, little, that's not what I want to say. Very quick light pulls, I guess. Not a lot of pressure.
And you normally do it on the opposite side of the bowl like that, or were you just doing that to show us? Or?
Yeah, it made it a little bit easier than trying to pull towards me like this. It's less awkward to pull away from you or push away from you. Then I'm gonna go in with this little rib and just kind of give that a little more of like a throat, I guess, where the batter would come out. Just a smoother transition, I guess. Dry my hands off a little bit. Now I'm going to sort of pull this back in to define where any mixture is going to be coming out. Right? Because if I left this like this and I try to pour it, everything would just flow all over the place. So I'm going to just use the side of my thumb and bend this. Back in like that. And if I turn it away from me again and I grab a pinch right here and just give it a little lift and pull up. Okay. Then I come back. Yeah. I'll just roll this. I'm just putting some water on my finger and using the side and kind of just rolling that lip over to give it more of like a pouring action. So I usually I would normally let this sit up a little bit first before I would do this step, because it's really soft right now and I don't know, it may not hold its shape. So if you want to try this, you may throw one of these and set it aside and don't cut it off the bat yet. Let it stiffen up and then come back to it. I think that's going to stay, but
why don't you want to cut it? I didn't catch that, I'm sorry.
you don't want to cut it until after you've pulled it and everything.
Right.
Pull the spout. But I was saying I did it right away, like I threw this and then I pulled the spout right away. I might let it next time sit up because this is really flimsy,
Right.
because it's freshly thrown. So there we go.